Welcome. So today we're going to be in r/relationship, and in this one, it's I don't even know how to describe this one to you. It just looks like pure insanity from the title alone. So if that sounds interesting to you, then stick around and enjoy, and don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Honestly, when I tell you that this one sounds insane, I am not even being dramatic. And from this title, listen to the title. My husband is in love with his student, and I have no effing idea what to do. Just what? Like, what? So, yeah, let's get into it, because I'm sure you're all so ready to unpack this one, just as I am, because that is just, oh, God. Like, what is wrong with people? My husband and I, both 35 right now, met in college. We fell in love and got married 8 years back. I gave birth to our daughter in 2020. My husband is a professor at his med school. He's a doctor himself. My friend Sarah also works in the same college, and she's in the same department as my husband. Few months back in December, Sarah took me out for lunch and told me that she suspected something's going on between my husband and this med student, 25F. Oh, thank God, at least it's not an actual high school kid. I mean, it's no better. The husband's still cheating and there's a really off power dynamic, but I was genuinely concerned this was going to be like a high school kid or something. I'm so relieved, but also at the same time not. I have some very conflicted feelings right now. She claimed she'd seen both of them giving yearning looks to each other. She said that she's known my husband for so long and she'd never seen him talk to any other woman like this, that he'd been so aloof around women all these years, but it's just different with this girl. Yikes. In that moment, I had laughed at her face. I remember telling her that she's jumping to conclusions based on these supposed yearning looks. Yeah, and I bet you that was more of a defense mechanism. I'm sure there was part of you that was just like, if I react angry and deny, then this cannot be real. But your friend, if a friend ever comes to you and tells you something like that, it takes a lot to pluck the courage up to tell someone, love, I think your fella's cheating on you. Because you know that they're probably going to get mad at you for being the bearer of bad news, because that's just the way things work. You also know you are breaking your friend's heart with that sentence. So yeah, if a friend ever comes up to you and tells you something like that, I mean, as harsh as it is, you just have to believe them. Unless, of course, they are well known for being an absolute knobhead, and then obviously you don't. But, I'd like to think people don't keep knobheads as friends. Then again, with the stuff we read, we know that they do. That's why I didn't tell you before, she had said. I was confused too. It's not like he goes out of his way to talk to her, but whenever they do talk, it's like watching a slow burn romance movie. She looks at him like he's Brad Pitt, and he looks at her the way he used to look at you. I remember the exact words because they stung. Internally, I was breaking down. Externally, I just smiled and told her that she's probably overthinking. Yeah, a totally valid reaction, I think. That night, I casually mentioned this to my husband. I was laughing at the absurdity, and I expected him to join in and deny the wild possibility that he's in love with his student. But he didn't. Instead, he looked at me, all teary-eyed, and said, "I'm sorry. I can't get her out of my mind. I've tried, trust me. I should have told you sooner, but I thought I could save our relationship. I really wanted to." I asked him if he'd cheated on me. He said no. He said he didn't even talk to her, nor did they have any contact outside of college, and that he completely understood how morally depraved it is to try and pursue a relationship with a student. She wrote him a letter about a year back, confessing her love for him, and he had told her that even though he was into her, nothing would come of it. Apparently, that was when the yearning looks had started. I honestly don't remember how I reacted then. I think I just started packing and came to live with my parents along with my daughter. Oh, you've got of course you have got a daughter. You mentioned it at the start. I can't stand these people that cheat on their other half. Anyway, I especially think it's just abhorrent when they have kids and they are ruining that poor kid's life or childhood, because I don't think it's going to ruin their life forever. Some people it does, some people get over it. But still, you're just tearing apart not just your partner's life, but your kids as well. All for a bit of someone's kebab who's far too young for them anyway. I've been living with my parents since then. Half of me wanted him to come and beg for forgiveness, but he never did. He comes by sometimes to spend time with our daughter, but that's it. He never talks about the elephant in the room, nor do I bring it up. I keep checking that girl's social media. She's insanely beautiful, almost doll-like and intelligent. I can't help but think that someone like him should be with someone like her. He's always been very good looking, and I'm more of a plain Jane. She's the Meredith to his Derek. I have no idea what that reference is. Okay, so I'm not sure what to compare that to, but I honestly think that OP is not a plain Jane. I bet they've got a lot about them, but they're doing that typical game of torturing yourself by comparing yourself to the other woman. Like, honestly, the best thing to do if something like this happens is pretend like that other woman does not exist. Block their social media so you are not tempted to look. Do not compare yourself, because at the end of the day, just because you think that they look amazing on the outside, they may be a horrible person. Well, probably are a horrible person because they know that this guy is married and they still pursue them. They may also be someone who has a lot of issues in their life. So they might look fantastic and amazing and great on the outside, but actually, they're going through an awful lot and having a terrible time. Also, they may just be really friggin' boring, personality-wise, So it doesn't matter what they look like. I don't know what to do. What do I even tell people? I don't even know who I am without him. Some part of me still wants him to come back. TLDR, husband just admitted that he's in love with this young woman who also is his student. She loves him too. Honestly, don't even waste your time. He's obviously not a good person if he's had this emotional entanglement with another person and not called it off with you. Do I think you can fall out of love with your partner? Yes, you can. Do I think you can fall in love with somebody else and you then need to think to yourself, either this stops completely and when there's no contact, there's none of these fleeting looks and there's no flirting, or I need to end my relationship that I have now so I can pursue this other one. I think in a realistic world, things like that do happen. It's the way that they react to it which determines whether they're a piece of shit or not, And honestly, if somebody doesn't love you as much as it hurts and it takes some time to get over that, do not sell yourself short by pining after them and begging them to be yours. You're just worth a lot more than that. And then down in the comments, Pseudonymph says, geez, he's flattered and infatuated, and so is she. What a dumbass. And then Bell and C says, exactly, and likely by this point he has romanticised their love and the sacrifice of not being with her due to his responsibilities to his wife and child. Our hero, cue the music. Their life is destined to last forever, but their honour keeps them apart. All they have to live for is forlorn glances across the classroom. He is living in a bad soap opera and believing it's real. What an absolute dumbass. Yeah, this is the thing. It's all very forbidden fruit, romanticized. Oh, we just can't possibly. However, this is going to probably end up as one of them classical situations when they end up together and the grass was not greener on the other side. So he's essentially ruining the amazing thing he has with you and your daughter to pursue something which probably is not anywhere near as exciting as he has made it in his head. For those who don't want to read the boring details, in short, I have decided to go ahead with the divorce. Yes, 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 yes. I am so glad that you reached that conclusion, OP, because I do think that you are worth so much more than that. And you don't want to then be in a relationship where you're forever second guessing your worth to them. Long story, the day I made the post, I met up with Sarah for dinner. I thanked her for telling me about my husband and the student, and also for being such a good friend. I asked her about my husband. She says there's nothing unusual. He's been a bit withdrawn and aloof with everyone lately, but that's about it. Yesterday, I went over to my house unannounced. He was there alone in his office. I told him I wanted to talk, and he said he'll explain everything. So, apparently, this woman has had a crush on him since 2 years. Her friends ship her with him. Oh, God. She would stare at him during her rotations and would blush whenever he looked or talked to her. Back then, he didn't think much of it. Many girls have had crushes on him, and he always ignored it. I do think it's going to be a case of she's in the mindset of, oh my goodness, the older, smarter professor is so good looking and he's giving me attention and he looks like he likes me and it's so exciting. And then he's thinking to himself, oh, this younger, beautiful woman really likes me and oh, I'm so flattered and oh, we can't be together. And yeah, they're both getting carried away in this little love story that they've made in their head. About 1.5 years back, they were in the same research group thing. I don't know how this works, but there were 5 to 6 people along with these two. Because of this, they had spent some time together working, and it was then that he started noticing her. He went into detail about how he was impressed with her intelligence, blah, 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 and her beauty, blah, blah, blah. The moment he realised he had a crush on her, he dropped out of the research thing. This was a year ago. I mean, at least he kind of tried to put a stop to it. I suppose that's a good thing. But still, few weeks later, she then gave him the letter confessing that she has feelings for him. The first thing he told her after reading it was, "You can get into trouble because of this." I would be more thinking that you could get into trouble for this, sir, because she's a student and you're a teacher. She didn't care. She wanted an answer. "Is it all in my head?" she had asked, to which he replied, "It's not just in your head, but nothing can come out of it. I hope you understand." That was the last time they interacted. According to him, the yearning looks Sarah described were more of awkward eye contacts than anything else. He told me that even though he's still attracted to her, he has no intention of pursuing any sort of relationship with her, regardless of whether we stay together or not. He said he's willing to change his job and go to therapy. I told him to give me some time to think about it. I mean, to be fair, playing devil's advocate here for a moment, he has cut the interactions off as soon as it started. So as soon as he started feeling attracted to her, he left the group, the research group or whatever it was called. I can't remember now. He then, when he received the letter, yes, he admitted that he was attracted to her also, but he did say, no, I can't do this. And then since then has not had any face-to-face interactions with her. So to be fair, and giving him the benefit of the doubt, he has shown that he is not going to actively cheat or anything. However, I can understand why the OP would not be able to continue with the marriage, because if they feel like second bit to somebody, they're going to be worried that it's just going to keep happening, aren't they? And if they know that they can't cope with that, it is better to end the relationship than to continue it, knowing that she's then probably going to be paranoid throughout the whole relationship, which would then not be fair on either of them. I honestly thought this was going to be more of a cheating story, to be honest, at the start. And when their friend was explaining about the fleeting looks and things, I honestly thought it was going to come out that he'd been bumping uglies with her, but colour me surprised. I've read too many of these things and I'm too used to it turning out to be that the other's cheating. But yeah, I think if I knew that my partner had romantic feelings for another woman, it doesn't matter whether they'd acted on them or not, I do think I would have to end the relationship too, because I just don't think I'd like the way that would make me feel, and that would be like a daily thing. I don't think I'd ever be able to move past it. Kudos to anyone who can. You are clearly more mature than me. To sum up, 1, this has been going on since 3 years. Not once did he mention anything to me. Yeah, that's the part of the betrayal, isn't it, really? That he's not come to you and told you how he's feeling himself. I understand why he wouldn't want to. It's not a nice thing to have to say, but honesty is the best policy in relationships. 2, The student and him spent a considerable amount of time last year working on the research. 3, he told her he liked her back. Lol. Yeah, exactly. 4, he's still very much attracted to her. And that's why I've decided to go ahead with a divorce. I don't think I could trust this man again. And a relationship without trust isn't something I'm interested in. I've told my parents about it. They're not exactly on board, but they're still supportive. I've also contacted my lawyer about the same. It's going to be a long process, I believe. That's it. I believe this is my last update. TLDR, he's still attracted to her. I won't ever trust him again. We're getting a divorce. Yeah, I don't blame the OP at all. If he's still saying he's still attracted to her as well, I'd be like, nah, I can't deal with that. I can't be with someone who is lusting after somebody else. It would make me feel really inadequate and self conscious. And again, that's not a good foundation to be running a relationship on. Now, down in the comments, the Fickle Mermaid says, "What stands out to me is he could have nipped this in the bud. Since nothing could happen then when she asked if it was all in her head, he could have said yes, and he has no interest and then acted completely professionally instead of sending mixed messages." Yeah, see, he definitely could have done that. Now, I know he did put distance between them, and kudos to him for that because clearly he was attracted and wanted to, but he didn't. But at the same time, he could have cut it dead right there. He could have said, "No, sorry, you've got the wrong end of the stick, love. I'm not interested in you." Problem solved. He could have also been honest with his partner about his feelings and what he was feeling at that moment, but he didn't. So I think that is ultimately where he effed up. If it would bother him to lie to her, well, he has been lying to you by omission for years by not mentioning this. He let this carry on, and now you know, suddenly he can change his job and get therapy, but it seems like a little too late. I would also have trouble letting this go, since again, the longing has been going on for years. Even if it wasn't acted on, the feelings were indulged more than they should have been, and he's only thinking of solutions to the problem now he has to, rather than being proactive. I understand why this is an issue for you. Yeah, absolutely. There is so many things he could have done that would have possibly fixed this. Now, do I think that OP would have been able to get over it if they'd have known straight away when the feeling started? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But he didn't give the chance. Again, kudos to him for making sure nothing happened and putting distance between them. But at the end of the day, he's still been lusting after somebody else for like a good few years now. This isn't just like a fleeting attraction. This is something that he's probably been playing in his head over and over. And I don't think as a partner you can really get over learning that, can you? And on that note, I think we're going to leave it there for today. I'm really glad that OP was able to come to a conclusion at the end there and didn't have to feel like they were sitting in limbo forever and ever. Obviously, I hope they're doing really good now and are happy. And, I hope the husband didn't go with his student because there's still a really weird power dynamic to that, even though the student is technically an adult. I kind of don't like that. But yeah, I hope everything worked out for the best. And most importantly, I hope they were able to put their own feelings aside of whatever happened and went on and are able to co parent their daughter successfully. Anyway, if you made it all the way to the end today, then I thank you very kindly. I appreciate you very much. I'd appreciate you even more if you left a like and a subscribe. That way you can find your way back here. I do post every single day. Other than that, I'm going to disappear. I hope you have a good rest of your day, whatever you're doing. Goodbye.